Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I'm James, your black friend.
and this is the
Oh,
Fat
am I
and
too
Black
late?
Connection,
Man, that's
where we
crazy.
talk about. Yeah, you're super delayed.
Yeah, where we talk about anything and everything as long as it's interesting to us. But it looks like I'm having some technical issues, so I'm gonna be right back. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, James. What am I going to do with you?
Mm, hold on.
We can test this really quickly.
Two,
One.
two.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
I don't know
Well, I
what.
guess that means it's just on me. So, uh, I guess we'll start with just diving on into some content. So this last weekend, James and I, we were at the Powerhouse Comic Con in Antioch, California. So James flew in to Northern Nevada here in Reno. He flew in Friday morning, and we got together and eventually drove down to California, head down to Antioch. It was not a fun drive. It was slated to be 3.5 hours. Um, it ended up being closer to 5, so that was a little frustrating. I hate California. There's a reason I left there. Um, yeah, no intention of going back. But we got to the site, which was very disconcerting. So this was the first time that Powerhouse and the organizer of the event, Colossus Girl Entertainment, this was the first time they had been at this location. Uh, and I wasn't there last year, but I had heard the experience for a lot of people at the prior location was great, except for they had a hard time with load in, that they couldn't necessarily park close enough. Okay, well, this location, if you don't know the San Francisco Bay Area well, if you don't know Antioch, um, it's it's hard to explain because it's almost in no man's land. It's about an hour south from Sacramento and about an hour north from like the true Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco area. And so it's really just kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's right on the Delta. There's just not a whole lot going on. It's a pretty small town. It's got a Costco, so at least it's got that going for it. But in general, it's pretty rinky dink. So we went to go find this facility, which it claims to be the Contra Costa Event Park. So if it's the county, area where they have like the county fair or whatever, you would think it would be pretty easy. Unfortunately, when we arrived, Lawrence and Diego from Icy Sound Comics were there already, and they had given us the heads up. Hey, this place is really hard to find. And I was like, oh, they're just bad with directions, probably. And no, it wasn't that. It was indeed hard to find. We had to go across a one-car bridge to then go down a long dirt road to then go across a one-car bridge. It was not enjoyable. But we did find the place eventually. We got loaded in. And then Lawrence Diego headed out, went back home, and James and I went over to the hotel, got checked in, and then we headed over to Costco to pick up some necessary items. And this is this is one of them. So I was just talking about Powerhouse Comic Con, James, and I pretty much just got through setup and check-in.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I was. That was kind of a mess trying to find the place, but we finally once we did, it was okay. Yeah, so we went over to Costco, grabbed some pizza. I didn't know. Well, this Costco had like what were they, like lemon pepper or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, lemon pepper chicken,
Chicken leg,
chicken leg.
drumsticks.
Yeah, drummies.
And yeah, so that was, and we grabbed, yeah, the beer, and I think that was, oh, and some waters. We grabbed some waters too.
Yep.
So yeah, and then yeah, we grabbed a pizza on the way out, and yeah, we headed back to the hotel, and that was pretty much the wrap.
And Gear Deli Jeff does confirm that it is the middle of nowhere.
100%.
So, all in all, day of the event, we got there in the morning. The event started at 10. I think we got there around 9. We stopped to pick up some burritos for the team beforehand, and met up with the team at about 9 and made sure everything was looking good, ready to go. Walked around to look at the other vendors. It was interesting because there were vendors showing up, setting up even after the event started.
Yeah, there was. I know there was one for sure. Like she got there and was still setting up like when doors opened. So
Yeah, and even some of the special guests that were like being paid to be there didn't even arrive until a couple hours into the event, which was weird.
uh I thought they were all there. I mean, I know Gigi was there. Well, she was kind of walking around, and I guess there she got her table set up. And then the dude, I can't remember the other guy's name, the tall like dude who was
Who played Vader?
yeah, he played Vader. He also did a like I can't remember the character's name, but in Men in Black International. Um, and then yeah, he's done he's done some big stuff. So I was like, man, meeting him was cool. Chatted with him for a little bit. But yeah, so and then there was the guy that was Brack for the Brack show and Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I don't know. I'm guessing to play that character, you have to be a little off because this dude was literally playing a ukulele, like singing, like loudly.
Yes, a little to the point of annoyance, in my opinion.
He pretty much stopped. Like I mean, like for like the first, it was like I only remember it really for like the first hour. Either that or I just was able to tune it out. But and then there was another guy who does, I guess, some show where it's like they show horrible movies, but you know that's the point of the show.
Yeah. Anyways, the facility was interesting. It was 3 buildings,
Right.
and then there was a quad type area where outside in the quad there was 2 food trucks,
Yeah.
and then Distance Nerding was there, and they were set up out there with a stage, and were interviewing all of the guests and basically broadcasting throughout the day.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. Meeting,
We actually got to meet those guys.
Yeah, because we've engaged with them before, especially talking about KaboomCon, which is coming up in the very near future, as a matter of fact. 87 days.
87 days.
Yeah.
Get
and
your
for those of you
tickets.
that don't know what that is, KaboomCon is the first ever comic convention in the capital city of Nevada, Carson City.
Capital City.
So if you don't already have your tickets, I highly advise you get them because I don't know if we will have tickets to sell at the door day of, because they are moving quickly. So
we might, but we probably guessing we probably won't.
Yeah, you never know. You know, if the fire marshal will let us squeeze some more people in, then we'll do what we can do. But I would highly advise not waiting.
Get your tickets right.
So all in all, I would say the event was probably a bit of a letdown. Just in talking with some of the people who had been at Powerhouse the prior year, there were probably a couple thousand paid attendees. Where at our event, I would say there was probably 300 to 500, and I'm thinking it's on the lower end.
Yeah, and I think it was mostly because like the location was kind of, but also it's I think from what they told, this is also just coming from what I've heard, is that the prior year it was at the fairgrounds in Alameda, and
Alameda Fairgrounds, yes,
Alameda in Pleasanton.
Mm-hmm.
Alameda County Fairgrounds, yeah. And apparently one of the big issues was that they weren't letting people to load and unload. They were having a hard time getting close to the buildings to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that maybe that's why they weren't there this year. But at the same time, like, man, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was nice to have a building, but at the same time, it was like, man, this is. It wasn't a convenient spot.
Agreed.
It wasn't like the fairgrounds. Don't get me wrong. Like the fairgrounds isn't like super convenient, but it's way more convenient than this place was. Like at the fairgrounds, you can there's at least there's a number of entrances to get in, and most of those entrances, like wherever you're going, is pretty much open, so you can get to where you need to get to. And so if that's the reason why they didn't do it there, they need to talk to somebody and be like, "Yo, this is what we need. Can you help us get this set up so that we can, this is a better spot."
Agreed. So really quickly, talking about KaboomCon, we've got a couple new vendors. Just want to shout them out. Welcome to Stitch Me Baby One More Time Crochet. I'm sorry, Crafts. Stitch Me Baby, one more time, Crafts. Welcome to KaboomCon. And then also
baby, one more time.
Rogers Rainbow.
Okay, I'm
3D printing.
Like the Iron Man, the dinosaur with I like it.
The piggy bank.
Piggy bank.
So they are indeed joining us for KaboomCon on September 7th.
Nice.
Got a couple others.
Are they outside or inside? What's their deal?
I believe they're both going to be outside, if I remember correctly.
All right.
So we've got a couple other vendors. I'm just waiting on finalization, a new food vendor, and so should be a good time to be had by all. So in just a moment, for those of you that have been following along the last few weeks, you know that we've been doing Oak Bridge After Dark, the podcast within a podcast. And on tonight's special episode, we will have two voice actors with us. We'll have Monica Wolfkill and Sarah Vilardi, and we'll be bringing them on shortly. But before we kind of do that, I did want to remind everyone that Oak Bridge releases a week from this Friday. So as a matter of fact, here's another way to remind you.
We're fishing against hell. Is that right? You see that sign over there? It says no fishing for a reason. What happens if there's no fishing?
Let me in.
So next Friday, a week from this Friday. So releasing at 5 p.m. on the East Coast. 8 p.m. No, other way around.
Said
yes.
5
p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m.
Yeah, I was like,
yes.
Stop, flip it.
Yes. And also, before we dive on into Oak Bridge After Dark, I did also want to announce that the Oak Bridge website is up and running.
Hooray!
So please feel free to head over there and check it out.
What is the web Oak Bridge Show? Is it oakbridgeshow.com or something or what?
So I think this one has an interesting one. So it's oakbridgeshow.wixsite.com. So not the easiest, but we'll link it everywhere to make it easier for people.
Absolutely.
But it's got, some of the recent media, which we do. When we come back after Oak Bridge After Dark, I want to talk to you about your interview that you had over at Fluent Chat. Because I listened to that, unfortunately. So, some interesting stuff about the show, about the cast and characters. Hey, look, Monica Wolfkill and all of her social media. And then, there's Sarah, but I don't see any social media. Must not have been provided, Sarah. Slacker. Just kidding. And then the crew. Oh, James, I got higher billing than you.
Whatever.
As I should. And you can see all the nice folk involved with the series and making it happen. Over here on the episodes page is where you'll be able to go listen to the show as it's releasing. This will update with links to all of the different episodes. You can send a message, let us know what you think of the show. And then, of course, a 97 to Now Productions page. I'm going to have her fix that. 97 to Now is one word. Yep. She even gave some love to Murder by Garlic and Captain Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's the one thing I want to remember to come back to say to you, James, is that on Fluent Chat, you made the comment that you'd like to do a superhero audio drama. And did you forget that we did Captain Fearless?
I'm sorry. I don't really count Captain Fearless as a super. He was an awful superhero.
I mean, he was a fantastic superhero. He just
actually, I think maybe I said that. I think I was when we were talking about. I think it was what we were talking about was along the lines of like the Marvel DC type superheroes. That's what I was saying. I would love to be able to as far as doing a superhero goes. And I wasn't really, and actually that was very much. I wasn't really involved in that one. That was pretty much that was you.
Yes, I'm just saying 97 and Out Productions has.
Yeah. That's true. We do have that one, but yeah, I was talking about when we were chatting about the DC and Marvel properties that have audio drama stuff out there.
Gotcha. All right, so we're going to get reset here for the Oak Bridge After Dark. So for those of you watching live around the world, the thousands in attendance, we will be bringing up a video in just a moment to reset for Oak Bridge After Dark. We will then be interviewing Monica Wolfkill Sarah Vilardi for a period of time. You never know. It could be 20 minutes. It could be an hour. We'll just see how the conversation goes. And then on the back end, we'll have an outro video. And then James and I will be back afterward to continue. We have a lot more to talk about. So, yeah, I've got so many things still to cover. So, James, anything before we switch on over?
No, let's go.
All right. Well, then, without further ado, Oak Bridge After Dark. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Oak Bridge After Dark. I am Mark, the executive producer of Oak Bridge.
I'm James DeVoe Lewis, the director.
And tonight, on this very special episode of Oak Bridge After Dark, we have two talented individuals, Sarah Vilardi and Monica Wolfkill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hello.
And we're just going to dive on in. And we're going to just start right away with Sarah. We would like for you to take a couple minutes, tell the audience that's listening to this who you are, what your background is, what got you into doing audio dramas, and just whatever you wanted to share with the audience about yourself.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sarah Vilardi. Okay, what do I say about myself? My background actually isn't mostly in voice acting directly, but I've had a passion for performance of some kind for basically my entire life. I started learning how to play piano when I was 5 years old. I'm a classically trained singer as well, and I've been doing that since I was 10.
Oh.
I minored in music in college as well. I have experience on stage. I write. If anything, this is just the latest in a long list of creative passions I have fallen in love with. And like, I've always known that I was good with my voice for a while, but it actually took a friend of mine who's actually creating a few other audio dramas to be like, hey, you should try this format if you want to get into voice acting. Oh dear. Bunking my stuff because I'm moving.
We lost you.
We lost me. I'm gone. Anyway,
You disappeared.
I disappeared.
Get into the light.
Yes. But yeah, I took a friend of mine who is doing other audio dramas to be like, hey, you should try this. You'd be really good at it. And now I'm here. This is the first major audio drama role I've ever had, and it's been an amazing time. It's been great. I love this so much. I'm definitely going to be doing this more, but yeah, I don't really have too much strong to say right now.
Okay.
Mostly just because I don't know what to talk about.
Fair enough.
I don't do much.
Fair enough. Monica, how about you? Some background. How did you get into the
My
performance world, and what brought you to Oak Bridge?
Well, let's see. I've been a theater actor for over 20 years. That's how I started. And I actually got into voiceover. I was doing a show and they needed a recorded voice. So I did it. And I'm like, this is kind of fun. So since then, I've done 20 audiobooks. I've done animation, TV commercials. I've done actually on-camera TV commercials. That's what I've done recently. And Oak Bridge is my second audio drama. Actually, I take that back. It's my third. Oh my gosh. It's my third. The first one, I played 3 different characters. It was about women prisoners in the World War. And I played a prisoner, a fortune teller, and an announcer. And then my second audio drama, I actually played a school teacher of all things, which ironically enough, in Oakbridge, I moved up. I'm the principal in this one.
Woo!
I'm getting
fitting that
promoted
we're-
every time.
Fitting we're together then.
That's right.
Moving on up.
I know, moving on up. So so it's my third audio drama. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. And but yeah, I've done a lot of theater, like I said. Most recently, I did some local commercials, a flooring commercial, a local home builder commercial. So yeah, I kind of do a little bit of everything. I like it all. It's fun. I get to be whoever I want to be in my booth, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. On the other side of this wall, I have a blue wall for my video auditions. So yeah,
Nice. Man,
it's a
you got
one-stop
set up.
shop in here, baby.
I feel it.
Oh boy.
So is that a
Yeah.
custom studio or is that
I made this myself. I'm so proud of this booth. It's actually 3 of those, like the room dividers that are canvas,
mhm.
and I've hooked them all together, and then I put the egg carton
Sound-
stuff on
yeah.
the soundproofing. I have a
Mhm.
door, see I can come and go.
Nice.
Oh.
So yeah, and my computer and my mic are sitting here on a table that's covered
Mhm.
with fabric to dampen down the
Mhm.
reverberation. But I'm actually, it's funny you say that because I'm building a house. We're getting ready to build a house, and I'm getting a custom made booth in the house. So it'll be nice.
Oh
Nice.
man.
Lucky.
There you,
This one has served me well, so I can't say
Booth.
much.
you have
Mhm.
served me well, Booth.
That's right. You will be remembered. Yes.
All right, so but before we really jump into the show, I since you both have said you have done stage stuff,
Mhm.
we'll start with Sarah. What was your what's your favorite part that you've favorite part / show that you've done?
Okay, so my favorite show that I've done was one that I was part of a children's theater troupe because I was a child.
Me too.
But my favorite
Once
show that I
upon a
did was
time.
one that we did twice. It's a little like comedy western called Way Out West in a Dress.
Okay.
It's not very well known, but the plot of the show is basically like the leader of an acting troupe, a leader of a traveling acting troupe in like the Wild West, inherits what he thinks is a saloon from a great aunt he barely knows in a bumfuck middle of nowhere town in Nevada, right? And he gets there and he finds out that his great aunt left him a salon instead.
Ah.
So him and
Letters.
the other male member of the troupe have to dress up as women and pretend to be women to properly run the salon without facing social suicide. And the 2 parts that and we played this twice, and I got to play it both times. The first time I did the show, I got to play the sidekick dude in the troupe, and the second time I got to play the main dude in the troupe, who's the main character of the show.
Nice.
And
Cool.
it was so much fun, and I had a fantastic time with it. But looking back, considering I'm trans, it definitely meant something and I didn't realize it.
Little did you know.
Little did
You
I
never
know.
know.
Yeah.
All the impact.
That's right.
What about you, Monica?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've loved every show I did. But I have to say my
Like a triple
favorite.
actor.
Oh my god, yes, every
Hold on.
Every show was fabulous.
Is that a true statement or are you just being kind? Because I've done many
No.
shows that I look back on and I'm like, I will never put that on my resume. So come on.
No, it's true. It's true. There have been parts of the experience of those plays that wasn't fun, but I had fun on every show. But no, my favorite, and it's funny because
Found her favorite parts of the show.
that's right. My favorite role, I actually have 2. They're a close tie. One of them is I did Silent Sky. I don't know if anyone's heard of Silent Sky. It's a play about women astronomers in the early 1900s. It's very similar to Hidden Figures with
Okay.
NASA, but this was with astronomy in the 1900s, and women weren't allowed to use the big telescopes. And I got to play the lead, Henrietta Leavitt, who is a real person. You can Google her.
I know her story.
Okay.
I know her story.
I loved it. So her findings helped Hubble build the Hubble telescope.
Nice. Okay.
Bottom line. So I loved playing her. I was on stage all except for 2 minutes of the play. I was literally on stage from the start to the end except for 2 minutes. I had a blast. I loved it.
That is hard to do.
It is, and I'm an astronomy geek. That's why I loved it so much.
See,
it was
there
like
you go.
this is me to a T. Yeah. And then the other one I loved was A Bad Year for Tomatoes. Again, I was the lead, and I got to play 2 characters. And it's about an actress that moves out into the woods in the middle of New Hampshire just to get away from her fans. She just wants to write her memoirs. And all these nibbling neighbors keep coming in and bugging her. So she invents this insane sister that cuts people's heads off in magazines.
Okay.
So I had to play the insane sister. I had Austin Powers buck teeth and glasses that made my eyes look really big. And I would put this pink dress over whatever I was wearing and do a different voice. And every night when I would reveal who I was, somebody in the audience went, "Oh, it's the same girl." And I'm thinking, how did you not know? I got the same shoes on, the same jewelry. My dress is underneath the other one. They had no idea it was me. Oh, I had a wig too. But it was so much fun. And I still have friends that come up to me and say that was their favorite play. Like they loved it.
There you go.
So yeah, those are my 2 favorites.
That sounds like it was an absolute blast to do.
It,
Being able to be like
it was fun.
Like it sounds like being able to do like both a jaded, like done with everyone's shit, just wants to be left alone character, and the most batshit insane scenery chewer you've ever met in your entire life. That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's so fun. And there's actually someone did an article about the play, and they have pictures from different playhouses that did it, but the only video clip is one of ours, and it's the scene where there's a guy that sells manure and firewood. Hysterical role. He's still a friend of mine. But he falls in love with the crazy girl and threatens to spank her. And that's the only video they have in this whole article. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me getting spanked on the internet.
You know, most people get paid pretty well for that kind of stuff.
Hey.
I haven't seen one check yet.
Legitimately.
I'm a little upset about that.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
So Monica, following up, tell us about your character in Oakbridge. Give us some background of the character, you know, whatever you can share without giving away too much, because there might be people listening to this that haven't heard the whole series yet or season yet.
Oh, we have some virgins.
You should get on
here,
that,
huh?
people. Who
we have virgins listening. Oh, this
you should get on that. That's really cool. You should do that.
We have Oakbridge virgins, so we got to be careful. So, all right. So I play Julia Ingram. She's the school principal.
Vice principal.
Vice principal. Hey, I think she should be the principal. I'm just saying.
She might be someday.
Yeah.
The principal didn't do much. Vice principal. Excuse me. I like to think high.
Aim for the job you want, not the job you have.
That's right. Dress for the job you want. And so there's some incidents. I don't know if I can say it, but she has a connection with the town sheriff, and she's going through a rough time with her marriage, which I've experienced that myself a couple times. I can really relate to her with a jackass, husband.
We talked about this while we were recording.
Talked about this at length, James. And ironically, Julia's ex-husband his name is the same as my ex-husband. So it was really
I forgot
easy.
about that. I forgot.
Remember?
About that. Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about that. That's right.
I can only imagine that was fun.
That was fun. Unfortunately, the one she's fighting with, the husband, David, I've never had a husband named David, but yeah, but it was easy. Oh, don't say that to my current husband. He would not like that.
Yeah, he would not like that at all.
My 2 ex names, they can stay where they are. I call them my husbands. They were my husbands. They were my husbands.
Dang, I haven't heard that before. I like that one. That's actually pretty good.
Write that down. That's a good one.
I have 2 husbands. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Julia was fun to play.
Yeah.
I think I can relate to her a little bit. I do not have kids. She does have children. One of them, which is talking to us today. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Julia I think she's stronger than she thinks. And she realizes that partway through season 1.
Yeah,
How strong she can be.
I think out of sorry, Sarah, but like me and Monica, I think had some of the like craziest just working because I remember when we got later on in the season, there was just one episode. I think we destructed the entire thing and had to like build it back up.
We rewrote it and took a different route.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like we still kept everything that was there, but there was just things that just was like, yo, this isn't gonna work. And
we just had to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we did, and I that was a lot of fun getting all that done. I mean, I had to get on the phone with Ashley and be like, hey, just so you know, this is what happened. And she was like,
hey, heads up.
Whatever. Yeah,
if you're reading along, it's not going to flow. It's not going to be the same as what you're reading.
Yeah, she was pretty much like, whatever, do what you need to do. And I explained to her what happened, and so it was just one of those things. It was just like we had our working together was a real team effort.
It was going. It was. There were a few curse words. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it was fun. It was a lot.
There were because we were trying to figure out how to make it work, and that's we got frustrated a couple times. But
it was kind of a Back to the Future thing, wasn't it, James? Like, okay, we can't say this because
this hasn't happened.
Either this hasn't happened or this happened already. Why are we saying this now?
Right,
like,
and so
it was a
literally
fun one.
it was a continuity thing that when going through. You kind of glance over it because you have so many different pieces of script going through your head that when you get to, especially, getting towards the end of the season with, 10 episodes, you already have 8 episodes, that have already happened. So you're like, okay, now you're trying to remember pieces from everything. And so sometimes things just get messed up in translation. But like I said,
well, and wasn't it also a thing of, that I don't know if we can say, but what year that Oak Ridge is set in?
Yeah, there was some things.
We did couldn't happen then because
there
didn't exist at that time.
Right, there was a couple things that we had to go and we had to be like, oh, wait a minute. So we were doing some research like on the fly. So
oh boy,
I was like, wait, is that even?
To be a fly on the wall during that recording session.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was like a 4-hour session. I swear.
Yeah, we had.
Was that the one we had to stop and come back and do it the next day because?
No, we came back later that day because I had.
That's right, we did that same day.
Yeah, because I forgot that I had to go and bid for my work schedule. so I was like,
that was interesting.
I was like, oh wait, I gotta go, and so I took off, came back, and I called her up, and we got back in it. So yeah, we had a good time though. I think
we knocked it out.
Each of our recording sessions were we had a good time together.
Hey, it's done. It's done.
They were fun.
It's done.
It was fun. And it's funny because my other audio dramas that I did, we did them all in a room together. So all the actors were there.
We'll be asking about that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Sarah, tell us about your character, please.
Okay. My character is Josh Ingram, the son of Monica's character here. I have so many names and none of them are correct.
Julia.
Julia, thank you. Julia's son, who is going to the school that she is the vice principal of, and he's like, kind of, sort of, it's weird,
kind of, sort of,
whatever. Like the important thing is he's like just getting into his teen years. He's still like a kid. He's still kind of figuring himself out. Just at the edge of like, I'm a child and can get away with things, and I'm an adult and get to do cool things.
It helps that you're my favorite child too.
It does help. It does help that I'm the favorite. I get away with a lot more than I really should.
Absolutely, 100%.
My baby.
Sometimes to be a little shit, but mostly to like actively help like his friends and like help figure out what's going on, because he's not a bad kid. He's just a little bit of a weird one. Just a little bit.
So he's a young kid, and he's just trying to figure it out. And so he's also a game master for an in-universe tabletop RPG, which Can I? I'm gonna before you even go into this. Let me tell you something. When we got to that scene, she freaked out so hard about being able to do this scene. Like when she got on the recording session, she was like, "Are we doing this one today?" And I was like, "Yes." And she got giddy. It was ridiculous. And
I'm a D&D DM in real life.
I'm going to tell you. Well, yeah, we talked about that.
This is part of the reason you got the role.
I was just gonna say, I just did a movie that had D&D in it, and as our director gave us all specialized D&D dice with our characters on them.
Nice.
They're so
but
cool.
yeah, but with Sarah, I mean, literally, she got so into it. It was so fun. That was the voice change and everything, and when you just wait till you hear it. Wait till you hear it.
I know I'm biased because it's one of my moments, and it's like I read the script. I kind of binged the whole script in like one day for like the entire season. I almost got in trouble at work because I was reading it on the clock when I didn't have anything to do. But yeah, like I binged the whole thing in basically one sitting. And as soon as I got to that part, I was outside in the parking lot grabbing carts and bringing them inside because I work at a Target. And I'm sitting there.
You work at a Target.
I work at a Target. I work at Le Target. And I'm sitting there going outside, grabbing carts, bringing them inside, practicing voices for that scene in particular to try and like get exactly how I wanted the DM voice to sound and how much presence I wanted to put and the arc of emotion I wanted to go on. It was, God, I'm glad no one was watching.
It's one of the best. I can't wait for you to hear it. When you hear it, I guarantee you will love it. You will
great.
Awesome.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun to do.
Yeah.
And like the fact that I got to bring my actual experience into this was so insanely fun, you know? It was so great. I also just really love Josh as a character because like on the one hand, he's like kind of like he isn't socially cool, but he's cool in his own way. Because he's still like very determined. He's very leader-like. He's very quick-witted and intelligent when he needs to be. He's also an absolute fucking goober.
100%.
He's
100.
This man flip-flops between having the charisma of a celebrity and a rock, and I love it. It's great. I love him so much.
Sounds like James.
Well, way to call a man out like that.
Woo! James got real quiet.
When you've been close with somebody for over 25 years, you know, you can get away with that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the opportunity.
That's why I let it go, because I was like, whatever.
Well, because he knows I'm not wrong, so.
Well, there you go, that too.
Definitely not a rock, but whatever.
Yeah.
More like The Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a very charismatic man. Very handsome.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the whole thing, but I'm like 3 hours ahead of a lot of the rest of y'all, so my grandparents are going to sleep and I can't be too loud. But yeah. To get back on track, I love Josh as a character. It was an absolute blast playing him, and yeah, I'm extremely excited I'm first of all excited for everyone to see this absolute goofball in action, and secondly I'm excited personally to be able to go back to him later in future things. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's like between Monica, Sarah, and Connor, I think I spent the most time with the three of you.
Really?
I think
Is
throughout
that
this
good or
entire...
bad?
No, I'm saying I think we spent the most time
It
together.
took forever.
I think we spent the most time together.
We took so much time.
I definitely know I spent a lot of time with Connor because we had many a days when it was just the two of us, and then between
Well, he had the most lines, didn't
yeah, and then Monica, we had multiple hours of sessions together. Sarah, I know we did the same. So
yeah, we had a lot. We had like several like multi-hour long sessions.
Yeah,
And
I think between the three of you guys, I think those were the ones that I think that's why I remember them so well, just because
It
we
also
spent the
doesn't
most time
help that
together.
it also doesn't help that because of my work schedule, we had to do hours super early in the morning for you.
Oh, that was
Like,
Oh
and
wow.
I'm so sorry about that.
no, hey, it is what it is. I'm just saying it was. I'm not. I can't fault you for it. It was the way that it
Yeah.
worked out. But I mean, we got it done.
I can only imagine that was rough to do.
Well, like after once I finally woke up, it wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
So Sarah,
Yo,
you've now you worked over on Murphy's Inc.
I did. That was also fun.
And so you've gotten to work with both James and I as directors. Who's better?
This feels like a very loaded question that I don't want to answer.
No, answer it.
I gotta go. Bye.
I-
No, I'm just kidding.
No, you don't have to worry about that question, Monica. You haven't worked
I
with
know.
me yet.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. Can I respectfully decline?
Sure, I guess we'll allow it.
Okay.
We'll
But
just figure out a way to write Josh out for season 2, I guess.
sweet.
Oh,
Josh,
Well,
dang.
you just
Josh
get
is going to
listen.
military
It's
school.
we won't write you out. You'll get injured in something
That-
and then
you know what? That's
you won't be able to
He'll
do
be in a
anything.
coma.
The
Josh
right,
will be in a
Okay.
coma.
right
Oh,
answer,
oh,
the right
oh.
answer would have been James. He is a better director.
Oh, wasn't that
That's
cool
actually
of you?
see that's the one compliment that I only get from him. He
That's the only thing you're good at. What do you want me to say? I mean,
And there it goes.
And there it is.
And there it is.
yep.
Yeah. There's a reason I said you should direct the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you look at Murphy's Inc. or anything else we've done, usually we have multiple directors involved. You
Yeah.
did the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
So Monica, you mentioned before that the other shows that you've worked on, you did like in a room with all the other people at the same time.
Yep.
So obviously here, a distinctly different experience. I think you had a session or two maybe with other actor.
No.
No?
Not a one.
Not
No?
one.
Okay, so you
Not a
you
one.
had no one.
It was just me and James. We had a
So
thing.
so talk to that
Just the
experience
two of
and
us.
for you as an actor, where clearly you're used to working off of others. How was that for you?
It was a little different,
and I.
obviously, because you don't have the other actors and the camaraderie of, we're all here, we're all in it together, and you're watching them.
Mhm.
It was still, I mean, James is good because we went through it. Like we'd read the whole scene. He'd read the opposite lines and we'd talk it through. And this is the emotion. This is what's going on. This is because you're just kind of jumping in the middle. It's not like you're starting from point A and going to point B. You're kind of at A and a half, you're in between A and B, and then you got to jump to D.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good because, he knows the play or the audio drama better than almost anybody. Cause he's got to do every part, like he's involved in everybody's parts. So it made it easier than just, hey, here's your lines, read them and send them to us. So it was a lot of fun. I think it's different. Obviously I understand. Like obviously the two I did, one was in Arizona and one was here in Dayton, but they cast all local people. So you could do that. Whereas you guys cast a wider net, you've got people all over the place. You're not going to limit yourself to just
Worldwide.
local people.
Exactly.
That's right.
Like,
Why
I-
limit
I-
yourself?
I think I told you, but actually, Connor Howard is
Mhm.
actually in Ohio.
Down
Right.
You're in Ohio,
Yeah.
and then David is actually right above Ohio in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so is Remy and Anouk are in.
Wow.
Well, they're more east. They're in
Oh,
like
they're more.
Toronto.
Yeah, that's right. They're in like
Yeah.
no, they're in what is that? French. They're French Canadian.
Oh, they're in Quebec.
Quebec.
They're
yeah,
Quebec.
you go.
They're in
Yeah.
Quebec. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little further. Never mind. But like I'm saying,
Over
it's
that
just
way.
like some of you guys were very close together, but
Close.
didn't
It would still be difficult.
close-ish.
Yeah. So I think it's actually more interesting though to hear it after the fact, because the ones I did live, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I remember us doing that part. Like
Mhm.
I know that part because we were all standing next to each other.
Mhm.
Whereas with this, it's like, it's interesting to hear my voice with the actual other characters because I didn't get that before. I don't know what any of the other characters sound like. Like this is the first time I've heard Sarah's voice. So it's kind of neat to see what everybody else sounds like and how my
hope I've
voice
made a good
fits into that.
I hope I've made a good impression then.
Well, so far, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Keep talking, Sarah. We'll say. No, just kidding.
Okay, I can keep
Probably
talking.
wouldn't
We want to
have
keep talking.
stopped you.
Well, like listening to the trailer, I'm like, whose voice is that? Like, I kind of know who they are based on what they're saying, but it's like I don't know those people, so it's kind of interesting to hear the other characters' voices now.
Yeah.
And Sarah, for you,
Mhm.
similar. You've done some recording sessions over on Murphy's Inc. where you did indeed actually get to record with some of your fellow
Yeah.
voice actors. Where here you were, on your own. How was that for you, especially considering these are really your only two experiences from a audio drama perspective?
Yeah, like it's really interesting, like comparing that and then like the stage experience and then my actual D&D experience and everything else I've done all together. And it's absolutely fascinating the different ways a character can develop in different scenarios when you're trying to like act them out.
Mhm.
Like when you're acting out a character in a group, you're building off that, like you're basically building that character in the context of whatever scenes you're in, and it's a lot easier to like do, like it's easier to do funny improv bits and like easier to figure out like what a character would do in the moment when you're bouncing directly off of someone who you can directly interact with.
Mhm.
But then when you're doing it entirely on your own, building that character in isolation and being able to like, yeah, we finally get to see Shadow 3. Finally. only took, how long did it take for that to come out?
Yeah, right.
But, yeah.
Well, and really briefly, just because why not?
Mhm.
I can announce here and now that Shadow 3 will
Mhm.
likely be seen. I don't know if you're aware, but Murphy's Inc. is getting its own comic book.
Oh, cool.
And that is coming in the near future. We'll be talking about that more later. But Shadow 3 is a member of the Shadow Squad in Murphy's Inc. And as a part of the Murphy's Inc. comic book, there will be the end of every Murphy's Inc. issue is going to have a separate short comic called Tales of the Shadow Squad.
Tales of the Shadow Squad.
Where the Shadow Squad, everything that's happened in history that it has a conspiracy theory around it or is unexplained, likely it was the Shadow
Squad.
So you will probably be, your character, Shadow 3, will be visually seen in this comic book.
Oh, that's going to
Cool.
be amazing.
And additionally, we will be creating audio recordings to accompany these comic books with the same voice actors playing those parts. So
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got upgraded.
You did.
And,
I really did.
So Monica, tell us a little bit about your process. So some people, that we've talked to, they read the scripts cover to cover. They want to know everything that's going on. Some people just only read their lines. Some people just read the scenes they're in. What does your process look like?
Mine's kind of a mixture. I usually start with my character's lines just to get a feel of who my characters could be, and I usually pay mostly attention to the directions of what's going on. As in a play, they call it stage direction, I guess. So I kind of look at that and read mine, and then I kind of get an idea, and then I go back and start and read through the whole thing to get because some of the things I say, I'm like, why am I saying this? I have no idea. Like, what happened that I'm saying this? Yeah. So, but I like to get a feel for the person first, and then I go back and put her in the show and say, okay, this is how she got to this point because of all this, and her relationship with the other people. Like that's secondary to me. I like the person first, and then I work on the relationship and go from there. But yeah, it's different with every role. So with this one, I think with a more prominent character, I mean, she's an important character, but she's not one of the main characters to me in this one. So in season 1, so I look at it as, okay, how does she fit in first? And then make her bigger because you want her to be the strong person that she needs to be for what happens in Oakbridge.
Falls apart a little
so-
bit every once in a while, but you know, that's just being a mom.
It's David's fault. Dang, David. David's fault. That little snot.
Blame
Anyway.
it on the David.
His bags are packed. They're outside. So yeah, so that's how I do it. I usually look at the character first and then look at how she fits into the whole world.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. And Sarah, you kind of already expressed that you read the entire thing all the way through.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm the opposite of you, Monica. I read
Mhm.
the whole thing in one sitting first to get the context of the story as a whole, and also because whenever I get into something, I'm voracious and can't help myself. I blitz
Wouldn't
through
have
the
guessed
whole
that.
thing. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, definitely couldn't have guessed that. But like, I blitz through the whole thing first to like enjoy the story and partake of the story and go on its emotional journey. And then
Mhm.
after that, I come back through it a second time and pay special attention to my character's lines and then put myself in the context of the character in that moment because I already have the context of the entire story. And now
Right.
I'm like, okay, this one's me. What would I do in this character's head at this moment? And I'd go through it. I'd workshop it out. I'd like play out little scenes in my head. I'd workshop the voice. I treat it very similar to how I'd treat, I'm going back to this again, a D&D character or an NPC in a campaign that I'm running, where like in these scenarios in this story, what would I do? Because now I have the whole overhead of this, and I can actually move the chess piece on the board properly with the strategy and the end game in mind. So that way
Mhm.
I can build up properly to that, put all the character bits in place, see if I can find anything interesting or new that would make sense, and potentially even have some questions that I'd be able to ask later on that would help inform further development later down the line. Like, so
And that
basically,
makes perfect
the
sense.
opposite of yours.
Yeah. But I do the same thing. I think it's just a little bit different because I like to feel my character first before I put him in the situations. But then again, there's some scenes where I don't know what's happened to Julia before this scene. Like
Yeah.
because there's gaps in between. And
Yeah.
it's the same for you playing Josh. You know,
Yeah.
there's gaps. You don't know what he did at school, but then he comes home and deals with whatever's going on at home. So you have to kind of take the whole context of the whole show and say, okay, while they're off doing this, what's Julia doing? Because meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, you know, she's off doing school stuff, or she's dealing with David, or she's dealing with the kids. You have to kind of make up the backstories of what's going on when you're not on set, you know?
Yeah. Like, making up all that part, like, it's one of my favorite bits about character building is building the shit that nobody gets to see. Like,
Mhm.
And it's also for world building as well. Like, building the parts that nobody gets to see, like, are so much fun and so important because they help inform the things that we do see. Because a
Right.
lot of those things, like how characters spend their time outside, like off camera, when the action isn't happening to them,
Mhm.
like, those are still indicative of who they are. How they choose to spend their time can inform how they react, like their tone, their emotions, and the way they're approaching different situations.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And
Like-
the best thing I could think of is this won't be throwing anything away, but later on in the series, this group, these kids, make the whole thing. It's more of it's they're playing the game.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're literally playing the game, but but it's life or death at that point.
Right.
Yeah, like even with this situation that they're in and all the shit going down, these kids and Josh in particular, especially as is shown through like a connection he makes,
Mhm.
like he is slipping directly into that space. It's like partially like a massive big brain moment showing his like above average intelligence and reasoning ability for his age. And also I kind of read it as a little bit of a coping thing as well, because this
Mhm.
is way more than he had ever bargained for and ever thought he'd actually experience. And on the one hand, this is so cool, but on the other hand, I could die here. My family could die here. Everyone I love could die here. And like, there's this one thing here I'm going to grasp at. I'm going to clutch onto that for dear life and hold on to it with every fiber of sanity I have. And he does, and he gets through it. And not only does he get through it, it actively helps save the day, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super fun. And it also raises a very important spoilers plot question that I can't ask on this server, but I've been agonizing about for months, and I really want to ask about, but I can't.
Cool. We can.
Can't.
You can call me later. We'll talk about it.
Later.
Call me after the show. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, ugh. It's the writer brain. I can't shut it up.
Yeah.
So, Monica, as somebody who seems to do a lot of work, you've mentioned, what beyond talent do you feel one needs to book work and keep working?
Perseverance.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have thick skin in this business, no matter whether it's just voiceover, on camera, on stage. You really have to have the thick skin. The nice thing about theater is you get the no call. In voiceover, on camera, film, you never get the no call. You just, I have a way of tracking everything I audition for, and I look at, okay, this was supposed to record last week. Obviously, I didn't get it. Cross it off my list.
One.
Yeah, you have to be determined, and you have to be flexible. Perfect example. I still have a day job. I don't call it a hobby. It's my side job. I'd like it to be my full-time job, but in the meantime, I have a day job. So I had a day last week. I had 11 auditions due in one day, and I had to work. So you fit it in. You have to do the auditions, or you're not going to get the jobs.
Yeah,
You can't expect it's just going to walk through the door. If you don't audition, you don't book anything. So it's auditioning is the job. If you get the audition, you've got the job. That's your job, is to get the audition. And once you get the audition, the booking is your prize. So it's hard to just audition and not get anything. But every once in a while it happens.
Honestly,
So
the way I hear
we give
you
the
and
no
other-
call.
yeah, you give some people do the no calls, but when you're dealing with agents and stuff
yeah.
out of
Yeah,
LA and New
yeah.
York, it's
Oh, well,
if
yeah.
you don't hear
Those
from
guys
us,
are,
you
those
didn't
guys,
get
those
it.
guys are heartless. They don't have time. They don't have
Oh,
time
yeah,
to make all the
obviously,
no phone calls.
Yeah.
they're in New York. Who's got time for that shit?
You didn't get it. What am I gonna say?
What am I
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Like fucking come up to your house with a bottle of champagne and apologize to your nona? What am I supposed to do, huh?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is you have to be able to take the silent no. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to happen. I guess that's not happening.
Well, and I will say, James and I are both actors. I think, for me at this point, I'm not an actor first anymore. I was for a very long time an actor first.
Mhm.
I would do directing or producing or other things on the side. But the one thing that I do try to make sure that we do here at 97 Down Productions is give the no.
Right.
And if there is, if it's a no, is to give it, so that there isn't it left hanging out there.
Right.
Because I know how frustrating that can be.
Well, and I'm not saying that everybody has to do the no. It's just a nature of the business.
Mhm.
You might have 20 people audition for 5 roles. Well, you can call 20 people, but when you get 2,000 people for 10 roles, you can't call all those people.
I'm not calling those people.
So,
you don't need to call me. You can send an email.
They could
I'm not
definitely
putting it down,
there's an easy way to just send a mass email to here's the ones that we're not.
Just
There
put
is.
them in the email.
Just
and
CC everyone on this list except for this small bit of people.
Yeah.
It
And
helps that
we
I'm
thank
an
you guys.
Excel nerd, and in my day job, I
Mhm.
deal with like database stuff all day. So
Same here.
it's easy for me to create that email, mass
Sort it, send
BCC,
it. Yeah,
not CC, BCC, because not everybody
Yeah.
wants their email shared with everyone.
that's true.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then, because I think that's important. I think communication is king in everything. and while I might not give you the reason you didn't get cast because it's a bulk email, I at
Right.
least want you to know you weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
So you're
free
not-
to go do
Hey,
something else now.
yeah,
my
you're not
child.
Thank you for your time. Don't wait around.
Yeah.
Fly, be free.
Move on, please. Move on. Nothing to see here.
Carry
Move
on.
along.
Yeah. It's
Nothing,
and it's
nothing to
it's
see
funny.
here.
Yeah, I think being divorced twice, I've gotten used to the no's. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm used to rejection. Let's just say that.
They at least say yes at the altar, right?
They said yes at one point in time.
They did at one
And
point.
actually, you said
Damn.
yes at some point in time too, because
And I
know,
said
Very
yes
true.
again. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah,
hoping
it's
this one
that's the
lasts.
hardest part.
3 times.
3 times a matey.
Let's hope third time's the charm, huh?
Hey,
So, Sarah, for you,
Mhm.
what would you say in your life experience has been the most helpful at becoming an actor and clearly sustaining because you're still acting, even though you started it very young?
Yeah. So starting young, like it was definitely like encouragement from people around me that like kept me performing for as long as I did. Like doing piano, then doing like singing, and then doing stage theater, then moving here to voice acting. Um a lot of it has been, for me specifically, I am a massive people pleaser. So like being able to see the reactions of people and understand that like they enjoyed what I did. I made people happy doing this. Like
Mhm.
I made at least one person in this audience smile or like feel like someone out there enjoyed this. Someone out there's day has been made better by what I've done, and that's kind of been the motivator for everything in my life, especially this. Like a lot of this, like part of it's been like I want to do this because I enjoy it and I'm good at it, but a lot of it has been this is going to make at least one person's day better out there, and that in and of itself is like such a massive reward for me specifically. Like being able
an entertainer through and through.
exactly like yeah I'm like that's the thing. I'm gonna be tying this back to D&D a lot because of the nature of Josh as a character, but that's also part of the mindset of being a DM for D&D or a game master for really any tabletop.
Mhm.
Like a game master is a role of servitude, not a role of leadership. So the
Ooh, that
job
was
of
good.
yeah,
You got- you
that
need
was
to, like,
good.
if you didn't steal that from someone, you need to like go trademark
Get
that.
get that one locked in. That was
It's-
good. Ooh.
it's not an original sentiment. It's one that's kind of common, but like it's one that I know for a fact is true. Like my job as a DM, Josh's job as a GM for the system he runs, like it's not to tell the story. That's the player's job. The players are the main characters. They're the ones telling the story. They're the badasses here. You're like everyone
Fill
else.
in. You
Like,
fill in. You're the narrator. You're the.
I'm the narrator. I'm all the side characters. I'm the
Right.
director.
You're the crossing
I'm
guard.
exactly. I'm everyone else that isn't the main characters. And
Mhm.
my job is to make sure they're having a good time, making sure they're happy, because this game is for them. As much as I get enjoyment out of running it, my job is to make sure they're happy playing it. And that same mindset is why I do this. Because someone out there is going to listen to this show, they're going to enjoy the shit out of this show, and at least one person listening to this is going to love Josh, hopefully almost as much as I do. I don't know if anyone will love him exactly as much as I do, but almost.
Nobody will love this character more than
Exactly.
No, I feel like one of our hashtags for like as we're describing the show and putting out hashtag sci-fi, hashtag audio drama, hashtag D&D probably needs to be there because it is enough
Oh,
involved
Yeah.
in the series.
Yo, that would draw some attention. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would draw some attention. At least
Well-
for the episode where that's like shown on screen, you know?
Yeah.
Well, as we wind down here to wrap up our interview with the two of you, of course, the first logical question for the wrap up is, Monica, will you be back for season 2?
You betcha.
Sarah?
Absolutely. You bet your ass.
Awesome. And we do have a viewer watching right now as we're recording this at a live time. Josh is actually my favorite character on the show.
I've done
Hey
it.
now.
I
No,
win.
I'm just kidding.
I win. I've done it. There's
Yes,
my one.
and-
I found my one.
And of course, as previously stated, Josh is such a complex character.
I know.
Monica, your character is so one-dimensional. No, I'm just kidding.
She is. She's just.
She actually so like again, the one thing that I really enjoyed about this show is the growth that all these characters make in just 10
Yeah.
episodes. That's
Every
hard
single
to
one of
do.
them, yeah.
Episodes. Every
But
single character
the-
develops in such amazing ways. It's
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, there's, I mean, the kids grow up right before your eyes. I mean,
I think Samantha made a big change.
Samantha definitely.
She was a huge
yeah.
change
Doug-
from beginning to end.
Doug makes it's a complete like 360 from the beginning. You have your character Julia. Just, I mean, she starts off very the same, but as the season goes on, she really comes into her own. Josh and the friends, they all literally grow in
Oh, yeah.
different ways throughout the whole season. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited. I'm really excited to see what happens in season 2.
Oh yeah,
Me
no.
too.
Like I don't know what's gonna be happening in there, but like I'm so excited for how this is going to go, how the events of season 1 impact how he is in season 2, especially with the more things that are going to happen. Like
I'm just like the main thing you guys need to know is that this has been probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever done. Because this time I didn't have Mark to fall back on. I didn't have anybody else to fall back on. It was me.
it was all you. It was the
Mhm.
James
And-
show.
And you guys made it so easy for me. You guys made it so much fun for me. We had fun. That's the thing, is that when, you know, I think Monica, when we were recording, I told you straight up, I was like, I want to make this a collaboration. I think I
Yep.
said it in the emails too. I want to make sure that we collaborate and make sure that I'm getting what I need out of you, but you're also happy with what you're giving me. And
Oh, yeah.
And we did. We collaborated the
think-
heck out of it.
we sure did. And I know, and
Just-
Josh, it was one of those things for Josh, working with Sarah. It was one of those things where I was just like, there was points when I was unsure about me, because I was like, how do I direct? I wanted to direct you properly without being rude. Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I get you.
And so we talked about it. We did. And so you were, you let me do what I needed to do, and we
Of
were
course, yeah.
very, and we worked very well together. So I thank you two for all the work that you guys did, and you guys always
Yeah.
came prepared and always came to have fun. So
Well, and same for you, James. I mean, it was great working with you. It was, like you said, it was a collaboration. It wasn't just, hey, say your lines and we're out of here. I mean, we,
Oh yeah, no.
we played with emotions. We played with, I think there were a couple scenes we did with different inflection and stuff, because it could have been played either way. Like,
and that's the hard, and that's another thing.
That's the hard thing.
That's the hard thing too, is because when we're on our own, it's
Yep.
just like it's just the two of us. So okay, so I'm like, okay, let's do it this way, because either I'm not going to be recording with that person for like a couple of weeks, or I'll be recording with them later on, but I don't know how it's going to sound from them.
Exactly.
So I need to get multiple different ones. Even one that I thought, I was like, hands down, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way I want it to be. And then it came, when I heard it, I was like, ugh.
I know.
Ugh. And
There
so
were-
I,
Just like, oh no, something's wrong putting this all together.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So literally I went back and I listened. I went back through, and this is with Rachel, who plays Sam. I went back and I listened to the entire recording session, and I did not get anything. I did not get a different way. Like, I thought for sure this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then when I heard it, I was like, oh
Oh,
no.
that sounds terrible.
So I had to.
Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to email her, and then we went back and we redid. Like, I literally just scratched the entire thing, and put this new stuff in, and I was like, there it is.
And that was the
There
hard
we
thing.
go.
Like there were some lines that were like, the shorter lines are the hardest ones.
Absolutely.
Because
Oh, yeah.
you have to say so much in 2 or 3 words.
Absolutely.
And those were the worst, James. I'm telling you, I can't think of one right now off my head, but there was one that we
couldn't get it.
We had every single emotion on the planet and said,
because
one of these 60 has to work.
Yeah,
Like
because
it's in here somewhere. We just gotta
We
find
It
spent
has
it.
to
like
be
an
in there
hour
somewhere.
on literally one line. It was like, oh my God,
we
I can't
spent
say it
we did
anymore.
we spent a long time on a couple of those one-liners because it was just
Yeah.
like those are
They're the
definitely hard.
worst.
because
Yeah.
because you're trying to play off of what's going on. There's a lot going on, especially there's those scenes where we have multiple, like everybody
Talking
in
at
one
once.
scene,
Yeah.
and it's like there's
Mhm.
and I was just like,
Voices coming in from every single direction,
Yeah.
everyone doing their
Yeah.
own things all at once, and then all of a
And
sudden
it's
we're put
just
together.
where yours fits in and what's the emotion at that time. And it's just it's like a big puzzle.
100%.
Yeah. And it was you did a great
Yeah.
job though. I had a blast working with you.
No,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, it was fun.
I don't
It
know
was
what it's
great.
like to work with Mark. Maybe I'll find out someday.
Mark's pretty fun too. Working with James was extremely fun. Mark's pretty fun too.
I don't
Like-
doubt it. I believe it.
Like from the amount of time I did some work on Murphy's Inc., I can definitely say both of these directors are amazingly fun to work with, and I'm extremely honored to know both of you. So yeah.
That's what 97. Like, that's one of the reasons we made 97.
Are you getting off a clip over there, Mark?
We wanted to
No,
make-
I thought maybe there was some brown stuff.
Are you Mark's
No.
getting for clip.
Get out,
We gotta
get
let
out of
him know.
here. Yeah, no.
Well,
Get
I will very briefly tell you that just to peel back the curtain for the audience listening to this after the fact, we are recording tonight on June 12th, 2024. And so you're probably, if you're listening to this after the fact, if you're not watching live right now, you're hearing this probably somewhere in and around September. But I can tell you that as of 4:46 p.m. today, Pacific, all 10 episodes of season 2 Rough Drafts have been submitted to us. And all 10 episodes of season 2 have titles.
Ooh.
So
Cool.
it is coming. It is getting close.
That's
We
gonna be
will probably be recording season 2 before the end of this year, I'm thinking.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
well, the last question I have, James, do you have any other questions before I do my last question?
No, I'm good, man. I think we've talked it out.
All right. Well, my last question before we wrap this thing up, Sarah, what do you got coming up next? What are you working on? What do you want to plug?
The problem is I don't have a whole lot to plug purely because I've been so busy with my own personal stuff. I haven't been able to have the time to get more things started.
Mhm.
Like life's been an absolute nightmare, so don't really have much to plug right now. But Lord knows I would be gushing all about it if I did.
Fair
Really?
enough.
I guess really all I have to say is go watch Murphy's Inc. as well, because I'm also in that. So go watch that show. Show's good.
Yeah.
And that one has 2 seasons in the can, done, ready to be listened to. So please, go
There you
give
go.
Murphy's Inc. a listen.
Whenever
Monica,
you
how
listen
about
to
you?
podcasts.
What do you got
That's
coming up?
right. Let's see. Well, I was supposed to be in Cleveland this week, filming something that got postponed, so I'm waiting for that to get rescheduled. It's a virtual tour of some medical facilities, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
And let's see. I don't have anything else. I did get a call from my agent today about a possible next week, but I don't know if I got it yet. So I'll have to tell you about that one later if I get it.
All right.
But yeah, I don't have anything scheduled right now. I'm just hoping to get some yeses and no more nos. And and I will be listening to Oak Bridge on June 21st.
Very
yeah,
good.
so
very
will
good.
I.
Very good. All right. Well, with that, I want to thank Sarah Vilardi, Monica Wolfkill. I want to thank you both for being here and joining us here at Oak Bridge After Dark. We will definitely have you back at some point, probably around season 2.
Sounds good.
And with that, this has been Oak Bridge After Dark. welcome back to the Fat and Black Connection. For those of you that joined us for Oak Bridge After Dark, thanks for hanging out. That was a lot of fun. Sarah and Monica, great interview.
Good times.
Looks like next week's going to be stacked. We've got 3 guests.
Yeah, I believe
Good
so.
golly! So we've got.
Oh yeah. We got the creator,
Ashley Dean.
Yeah, we have our lead, Connor Howard, and we also have our good friend returning to the show, Angel Kabarluk.
Yeah, that's the wild card. Who knows what that's going to be like with him?
Yeah, I was trying to get him in sooner, but something happened, and so he was like, "Yeah," and so I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna put you in on this show. A, because you're a friend. B, because why not?"
So I'm going to let you, I'm going to return the favor from earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and let you riff for a moment on whatever you want. I'll be right back.
Okay. Normally on the show, I will drink something or something. I'll try something new. This past week, so I don't even know if there's terribles everywhere across the country. At least here in Vegas, we have tons of terribles. Most of them are connected to Chevrons. Terribles are the little convenience stores. Anyways, they have a rewards program where you buy things and then you get points. And then on Tuesday, they give something away for free. I sometimes forget about it, but the past couple of weeks I've been like, yes, whatever it is, I don't really care. I'm gonna go try it. I meant to try it on the show, but I couldn't resist. Let's see. Hold on. I can't. Here we go. This is Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut. Okay. Now, when I saw it on the app, I was like, what's the free item? And it said DP Creamy Coconut. What? So it took some figuring out, but once I got to the store and I looked, I was like, oh, okay, it's Dr. Pepper, easy. So I grabbed it, and I had it last night. I should have saved it. I'm kind of sorry, but I'm actually kind of glad I didn't save it, because won't ever be doing this one again. Luckily, it's only a limited edition, but yeah.
So my wife actually loves that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it.
It was the only reason, and literally the only I normally I buy 2 drinks and then I get whatever's free. But this time I was like, I'm only going to get this one item that's free. So I'm like, I'm going to get that one thing and go home. But yeah, I was not impressed.
Fair enough. Have you had peanut butter Oreos?
Yes.
Just the straight up peanut butter. I've had the swirl before, where it's like a chocolate peanut butter swirl.
I've had the peanut butter ones before.
Just a straight peanut butter is,
yeah, those are pretty delicious. I'll give them. You know what? Like I'll give the peanut butter ones a good, those big thumbs up. They're no watermelon ones, which are weird flavors. The watermelon ones are so weird in the flavoring. Like, why did you choose water? I mean, I get it why you chose it, but no.
I'm surprised they didn't bring them back, actually.
They'll probably be back later on there in the. They'll probably be back. I mean, it's just June, so maybe like going into next month and summer, the heat of summer, maybe.
I'm not sure what we're discussing, Daryl, but
or is he saying disgusting?
Maybe he meant disgusting.
Maybe he did.
Gotta love autocorrect. So as we were mentioned earlier at the top of the show, we were at Powerhouse Comic-Con, and one of the things that we were unveiling there for the first time really was some images and stuff from forthcoming Oak Bridge. I'm sorry,
Murphy's Inc.
Murphy's Inc. comic book, and of course I forgot to bring this with me. And ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, Murphy's Inc., the comic book, is going to be 100% hand-drawn.
Hand-drawn.
So this image that you see here was hand-drawn by Diego Iriarte. And
that
then
size.
Inked by Lawrence Iriarte.
That's
This is the actual size. So I believe it's a 17 by 22.
that size.
Yeah. And then, of course, obviously, we shrink it down to fit within the comic. But
Yeah.
sketches themselves, like the original pieces, are this.
Huge.
I would highly recommend at some point some of these original pieces we might be putting on sale. We might be.
Get it.
You're going to want to get them when you can.
Get them. Because we're not going to be, because if anything, when we release them, they'll be very limited.
Yeah.
They will have certificates with them.
Yeah. And, Lawrence, who does the inking, he has worked with Marvel, DC. Like, he has done ghost art for a lot of people. Diego is like...
The boy's coming up. He's the youngest person to sell something out of the Comic-Con museum, bro.
That is correct.
We've talked about this.
Talking about the Oreos, that big Oreo I showed you was a letdown. And Daryl says watermelon would match the watermelon shirt.
That's not a watermelon shirt. That's a Mickey Mouse.
This
shirt.
is coral pink.
That is a Tommy Bahama and Disney collaboration.
Yes, there are hidden Mickeys all over this shirt.
Yes.
And James,
doing beach things.
You have one. But with all that said, I did want to unveil the cover art for the first issue of Murphy's Inc., the comic book.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
Man.
Oh, wait. It's so good.
All hand drawn. Yes, there is some digital color, but it is hand drawn, hand inked, as a matter of fact, as well. These guys, I don't even know.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready for this.
Yeah. So with that being said, I am going to announce here and now that we are in the early development stages of creating the first ever Icy Sound Comics.
That's right.
Kickstarter for Murphy's Inc. issue 1.
Boom.
So both those images that we've just showed off are here on the top. This is in development. It's not done. You can see it doesn't have the story listed yet. But you can see we've got a couple of the potential items that will be available. There will be more to come. This is in early development, but I can announce here and now that this Kickstarter will start on September 7th, 2024, the date of KaboomCon, and will only last for 30 days.
Donate for my birthday.
So all I can say is when this thing starts, don't miss your opportunity.
Get in on it. Because there'll probably be a free book in it involved.
A free book? What are you talking about, man? You giving stuff away? What are you doing?
No, because you give enough money, we give free book.
It's not a free book.
I know. People like the word free. Because they give money.
All right. Fair enough. I guess. So with that being said, I thought I would show off just a couple other pieces, from the soon to be ash can. Give me just 1 second. So we will be releasing this ash can for Murphy's Inc. at the upcoming Silver Age Comic-Con.
For sure.
Hold up. Wait.
Ding. Pew, 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 pew. Y'all not ready for these images either. I'm just letting you guys know. These are out of sight.
So this is the splash page for the ash can. And for those of you that don't know what a splash page is, it's not the cover. It's usually the next page inside.
Yeah.
And obviously these are in black and white. They're for an ash can. They will be in full color for the actual comic. Don't worry.
Can't give it all away, bro.
Yeah, we can't give it all away. But here's a page where you can see they're getting run down by a T-Rex.
Mighty T-Rex.
Making the jump off a waterfall.
We have a T-Rex.
Jumping down into the lake, going behind the waterfall where, oh, there's a giant like alligator monster.
Man, that's crazy.
So that's just a little tease of what's to come. And again, in the actual comic book, those will all be in color. The ash can that you can get at Silver Age Comic Con coming up very soon, actually a month from tomorrow.
You might see it in color at the con, but that's about it.
Some of it might be in color, but most of it's going to be black and white.
The ash can will be black and white, but you might actually see some of the other prints, the real actual prints in color.
I gotcha. So yeah, we when we were at the event this last weekend, we did have a couple of items that we were either giving away or selling, depending on what was going on. But here's another image in color.
Yeah.
I think that image is actually from the ash can.
Right.
So here it is in color, and then I've got a couple more. Give me just a second. Let me reset over here. I think we showed these off last week, but Murphy's Inc. looks like they're biting.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble.
It's a smaller picture, but I'm telling you, when you see the big one, you're gonna be impressed. Oh yeah, it's basically that, just smaller show. Yeah.
Yes, and I can tell you that this image will be in color and will be the center page of the comic. It will take up 2 full pages of the comic. 2
full pages.
Yeah, I think I said to Diego, my hope is that a kid wants to take the staple out of the comic to take this page out
and put it up on the wall.
Yeah, and
that center page is going to be insanely awesome.
And Tyrus is asking, who are the agents in the pick?
Don't worry about it. I'm just kidding.
Well, I can tell you that one of the agents is Michael from the audio drama.
Yep.
And just for those of you keeping track that do know Murphy's Inc. pretty well, the audio drama actually takes place approximately 10 years after the comics. So the comics take place 10 years in the past.
We got a prequel coming, people.
It really starts with kind of Michael's early involvement with the agency. Yeah. So anyone else that's around him is going to be a lot of new characters. I mean, Gleason's there, and Murphy's there, of course.
Of course.
And there might be some other characters that we know and have heard in the audio drama, but predominantly the story is going to revolve around, Michael and Murphy and kind of their relationship, how it started and how it came into being. Yeah, so I'm very excited, obviously, for this comic. Just seeing some of the artwork these guys are cranking out, it's amazing. And speaking of hand-drawn animated work, Donald Duck just celebrated his 90th birthday.
Man, still looking good, but not wearing any pants. Weird, bro.
And in honor of, Walt Disney Animation Studios released a new hand-drawn Donald Duck cartoon called DIY Duck.
Thank God they used the old duck, man. They didn't use that weird-looking new one.
What'd you think? Did you watch this one?
I haven't watched this one yet, though.
What? It's only like 2.5 minutes.
Sorry, I just haven't watched it yet. I can't lie. I didn't even know this was out yet.
So, do you follow our page?
I do, but I didn't see it, so.
You're killing me.
It's all good.
We already talked about some new vendors that are coming to KaboomCon.
Yeah.
Stitch Me Baby One More Time Crafts, Rogers Rainbow 3D printing.
Rogers Rainbow. Country Bears.
Country Bears are coming back.
They're coming back, baby.
July 17th, they reopen at Disney World.
Yeah, man, I wish I could go and see it right away, but I heard the revamping sounds pretty cool.
I hope they kept something from the original show, like one of the songs at least, because I loved the Country Bear Jamboree, growing up.
This is one I never saw them.
Are you serious?
I never saw them. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I always just because I mean I never saw him at Disney World, and I never saw him at Disneyland. I know like kind of the characters from like are in the Winnie the Pooh ride, the moose, the heads on the wall, but that's about it. I never got to see them.
That's kind of disappointing. It
Yeah,
was, it was a review type show, right? Like
yeah,
almost vaudevillian. It was fun. It was, it had a lot of animatronics. It was one of the earlier attractions.
right.
Um, when it left Disneyland, I was sad. I was happy that I got to see it again when I went to Disney World. But the other thing that I really liked about Country Bear Jamboree was that there were actually two versions because there was a holiday version as well. So
Oh,
I'm really curious to see if they're going to end up ultimately doing that with this
they probably
redo.
will.
I hope so. There was a period of time where Disney was talking about completely ripping it out and not completely ripping it out, but re-theming it to like a Woody's Roundup type show.
Oh, I mean, I get it, but no.
Yeah, so I'm really happy they didn't do that. I'm really happy that it is.
There would probably been riots. People
Yeah.
would have liked it, but there would have probably been people that would riot because the Country Bears are. I mean, I like I said, I never saw them, but I know that they are a big part of. They're one of the earliest, like you said, one of the earliest attractions they had.
Yeah. Did you happen to check out this?
Yo, that looks ridiculous, bro.
So Piece by Piece, a Lego movie where it's basically a biopic
Yeah.
around Pharrell Williams.
That is so crazy. Like, I mean, like I absolutely love the idea. And I mean, like the trailer it's almost outlandish because just the way it starts off. Let's do the story, but in Lego. Like what? So I mean, like I've always been kind of enamored with Pharrell Williams just because like as a black man who didn't jump right into hip hop, he actually did rock. I mean, he did hip hop, don't get me wrong, but like NERD In Search of, bro, that album changed like my music taste changed after listening to that album. Like I didn't think I was a rock dude, but after that album, bruh. I'm not like, don't get me wrong, I'm like not into rock, but like I listened to a lot more rock after that for sure.
Yeah, I will say I don't think I'll see this in the theater,
Skateboard Pete.
but for sure when it does come out on one of the streaming platforms, I will definitely give it a watch because I love the Lego films in general. I think they do a great job with them. And so
I'll probably go see this in theaters for sure though.
Yeah, and I like Pharrell. I think his story is interesting. Again, I don't know that there's the value in seeing it in the theater.
I want this Lego set now. I want different sets from this movie.
Well, and my understanding is that this will be the first of a series of films.
Oh, nice. Even better.
Yeah, so they will be doing a piece by piece around multiple different. I don't know if it's going to be musicians or actors as well, but yeah, it sounds like this is the first of many to come.
Excellent, Jeff. I will be hitting you up.
If you buy it through Jeff, he's going to mark it up, so you should try and buy it early if you can, because that'll be the best time to buy.
Of course,
for the lowest price.
Sometimes got to help a guy out.
Speaking of helping a guy out, Sausage Party Foodtopia.
Okay,
I didn't think it.
Is this on Amazon?
Sequel. Yeah, this is Amazon Prime.
Okay,
I did not think this needed a sequel.
I didn't either. One? I saw the first one's actually quite hilarious. I mean, it's very wrong. It's very wrong.
I thought it was okay.
It's if you smoke weed, this is a great movie for you because I mean, and Seth Rogen, I think he does a great job with directing. Wait, did he direct it or produce it? Either way, I know he's in it. I like Seth Rogen. I enjoyed the first movie. I probably will watch. I mean, if I don't have anything to do, I'll probably sit down and watch this film when it comes out. But Yeah. I Again, I don't think it absolutely did not need a sequel, but you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched this trailer and I was like, really? Because I watched the first one, and the only reason I watched it was because I think it came out during COVID and it was on one of the streaming services, and I was like, okay,
It came up before COVID, but yeah, but
not long before.
Sausage Party came out before COVID, and then it started streaming during COVID, I believe, because that's when I think I saw it too. Because I wanted to see it in theaters, but I just missed it.
Okay, yeah, it evidently came out in 2016. I know I watched it during COVID because it was during the time where I wasn't working from home yet. I was truly on just leave and waiting for the governor to figure out what we were going to do.
Mhm.
And I needed to find something. I had, an infant who, was just around a year old.
Yeah,
And
I forgot about that.
yeah, so it was more about like, okay, finding something to do when, because that was during the time where she would be awake for a couple hours and then asleep for many hours and then awake. So, it was, I watched it and I was just like, okay, I don't get it. I don't think it's that great. And so when
it's pretty much a raunchy adult cartoon.
Yeah. And then watching this trailer, I was just like, oh, so we're going to focus on like jumping into people's butts and birds' butts or coagulas, I should say.
The food's taking over, man.
Yes, the food has taken over the world.
So it's a ridiculous concept, but again, you smoke weed and you come up with sequels to stuff like this.
I don't know. We don't smoke weed. I think we come up with really good ideas. So
yeah, I'm saying like this. The first one was actually I found it kind of funny just because like it was one of those things. Seeing how food, it was kind of one of those things. It was kind of a Toy Story-esque where you see like food is actual people and or have actual emotions and relationships, and then they're like, oh, we're getting taken home. And then they find out the horrors when they get to the house. I was like, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
Basically Toy Story for adults.
Yeah. It was and with food. And so I thought Sausage Party was pretty great.
Any interest in the new TMNT show?
I am, because
Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They look pretty much like what we got out of the latest film, Mutant Mayhem.
By Seth Rogen.
Yes, also by Seth Rogen.
Yes.
So so I'm very interested to see, and I'm kind of digging the animation style on it. It's kind of computer, but it's like had that hand drawn look, but also computer. So.
I have not heard whether John Cena will be reprising. Which one was he, Bebop or Rocksteady?
What are you talking about?
Wasn't John Cena Bebop or Rocksteady?
I don't think so. He might have been. I'll double check. I don't think he was, though.
Check this out.
No.
NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line, Meet the Crew.
No.
So I saw this, and of course, the reason that I even gave it any interest is because, as most of you watching know, we are going on a Panama Canal cruise. It's now 614 days.
Get on it, people.
It is a group cruise. There are discounts, fantastic options. You only got about 4 more months to make sure you get the best possible discount that you can get, which is 15% off on top of whatever deal they're offering. Yeah. So I highly recommend getting on that sooner than later. I know 614 days sounds like a really long time.
It'll be here really.
It goes so fast. But we went on, of course, an NCL cruise when we went to Alaska last year.
Yeah,
and that's crazy to say that was last year. That it's been over a year since that cruise. But I saw this and I was like, ooh, so. This is evidently the president of NCL. He is going to the cruise ships and basically living a day, quote unquote, as what those folks do and hearing about what they do. So
is this undercover boss like?
It it is without the undercover aspect.
Right. They already know he's on the ship.
Yeah. So it's and then it's just me. Tyrus ran away. I think his bus had to roll.
Stupid.
Oh, the troll. So it is interesting. The first episode released, and it is him working with an environmental officer whose job it is to make sure that all
Excuse
of
me.
the items on the ship are disposed of properly, recycled, or whatever the case may be. And the president spends some time washing dishes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the president got into dirty.
Yes.
Wow, got deep in there. That's cool, bro.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. So I
All right,
suggest giving it a watch.
I might have to actually watch that now because
And
I
it's
like to
relative-
see.
It's relatively
like to
short.
s-
I think the first episode was only like 6.5 minutes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like to see when I mean, yeah, I mean, he probably spent more time than that than just down there because for 6.5 minutes could ended up being like 2 days. But I always like to see when the higher ups are humble enough to step into the shoes of their workers.
Is it that they're humble, or are they glory hogs and want?
It might be glory hogs, but I mean, so people see him. But I mean, I think there is a part that has to be humbled to do it because otherwise, you ain't gonna do it. And remember what you used to say. I won't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
And Jeff would like to confirm. Did you just say deep in the dirty?
Yeah.
Jeff is juiced about that.
All right. Weird, but all right.
There's probably a lot of juice down in the pit. Did you check out this new showcase reveal for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
No.
Bro, this looks straight up like a film. Like what they show in this showcase is literally probably about 3 to 4 minute cutscene.
Yeah.
Where maybe there's some play in, maybe it's like they're splicing it. I don't know, but it looks so good. It is. I think Harrison Ford's voice.
It actually looks. I mean, it looks like a younger. If that's supposed to be him, it looks like a younger version, of course.
Yeah.
So this is. So, did they say when this is supposed to be taking place?
I haven't seen a year, but I imagine this is taking place sometime around after The Last Crusade, based off of what we do see in the trailer.
Okay, interesting.
So the one thing I don't like about this game is that it does appear that it's going to be first person.
Ugh.
But I'll get over it.
Yeah, like I think I saw the preview, the trailers during Ubisoft Forward for the Avatar game, and I was like, oh, I hate that it's first person, but I might have to.
Well, I know with the Avatar game, that one is first or third.
Oh,
yeah,
even better. Then if I can do it third, I'll be great.
That I know for sure. I don't know about Indiana Jones. Just because everything they've shown in Indiana Jones, unless it's a cutscene, has been first person.
Okay.
I believe it's probably just first person, but with the Avatar game, that one I know for sure is first.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't.
You can.
Okay, cool. Then I'll try and. Okay, that's.
Yeah, I mean, there might be spots where it forces you to do one or the other, but
yeah, that's what I figured. But I mean, I can definitely probably get over that then.
Well, and as we know, it takes you anywhere between 2 to 3 years to play through a video game.
Just because I don't sit down and play all the time.
Because you've got so many other things going on.
I just can't. I mean, I can, but I just don't. I just choose not to do other things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about the game overview trailer for Outlaws? Man. Which I'll remind you, last week you had forgotten about.
I did. I had forgotten about it.
Tell us what you think about it.
But like I pretty much watched the Ubisoft Forward. It seems short this year, or at least this time around. It seemed really short. But man, this looks very interesting. And if it truly is an open world, I mean, that'll be even cooler. Apparently being able to take speeders and other things and stuff like that. This from what they were kind of talking about. But very interested to see. Very interested to see how with the building your being able to build your reputation amongst the different underground groups. Like the one they showed at Forward was your reputation builds with the pikes. And so that I'm interested to see just kind of how this whole thing plays out. And also just like you don't have to go through. You can do little side things and take play play arcade games or play card games. You're trying to find these different people to help build your skills up. Which is I'm like okay, I can mess with it.
Yeah, I'm stoked, about this game. And going back to the prior, the Indiana Jones, I'm even more excited for that one. Is that it will be included with my Game Pass for Xbox. Yeah, not for you because you don't have an Xbox.
I won't. I don't. I'm not a fan of Xbox. I'm not a fan of the controllers primarily.
They sell controllers that you can use that are different shaped. You don't have to use that.
Well, now I know, but still, I've been a PlayStation dude, and I like it.
PlayStation definitely has Spider-Man going for it. That's about it. And from what I'm hearing, there's possibility of that coming to Xbox in the near future. So
whatever.
You got since we lost you at the top of the show and we kind of just started diving into stuff. Was there anything you wanted to chat about, discuss? Anything from the con? Any highlights, people you met, or anything like that?
No, I mean I think it was cool just finally meet the Distance Nerding guys. Of course, it's always fun hanging out with Lawrence, Diego, and Justin, and you. Just going around meeting the different, it's just kind of meeting some of the people that brought their wares to the con.
What was the coolest thing you saw for sale?
I don't know. This guy had custom shoes that he does. He makes custom shoes, and he only makes when he makes the custom shoe, he only makes one. He will never make that shoe again. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. And the thing I was concerned about when I was talking to him, because we started chatting, I was going around handing out stickers for KaboomCon, letting people know to come. When he was telling me about it, I was like, yeah, but it doesn't look like they, and he's like, no, they move perfectly fine, just like regular shoes, but they're just custom. And so like he does custom paint jobs on them and characters and all this other kind of stuff. It's really cool work. But it was one of those things that he said when he told me that, I was like, okay, that makes it even cooler because you're the only one with that shoe. Somebody might have a shoe similar, like maybe the characters or something on it might be similar, but that shoe will never be recreated. And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And Tyra says he hasn't driven a bus in 2 months because
that's right.
Slipped while taking a pee.
It's so horrible.
It's a terrible story. Absolutely. So in literally a month from tomorrow, and actually probably a month from today, you'll be heading back up here for Silver Age Comic-Con. Yep. So do you have your flights booked?
Sure do.
Why don't I have any of that information?
Because I just forgot to send it to you.
Oh.
I booked it the other day, a matter of fact.
Maybe you could get on that.
Yeah, I have it. It's in my phone. It's right here. Okay. I'll send you that right here.
You got anything else fun and or exciting going on?
No, not really. Trying to think. No, we got that Silver Age. Can't wait to see people at Silver Age. Hopefully that'll be fun too. But yeah, I'm just ready. I'm excited that all this stuff is kind of, it's weird. Like just a couple years ago, who would have thought we'd be doing all this?
No, I mean, again, you think about back in
Literally, when we started, we started talking because of a shot. A shot started it all.
March of 20, we just checking in. How you
Yeah,
doing?
a
Hey,
shot started it all.
What does this mean? We can go live.
Yeah,
No.
want to try it? Sure, why not? And we did, and I mean, and that's the crazy thing. We started out on Facebook, and then one day that just all of a sudden just crapped out on us, and we've been on Zencaster pretty much ever since. I did hear about another service. We'll talk about that later. But yeah. So, but no, we've done a cruise. We're doing our own con. We got comics. We got what audio? What is going on?
We've been working with people all over the world.
All over the world
for music.
I'm just like, Brent. Oh.
All thanks to me.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And hey, Tyrus is back in the fold.
You dreamed it.
And Jeff is back in the fold, right? We hadn't talked to those guys in a long time.
Yeah, and so everything is moving in a direction that is good.
Yeah,
I can't. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I know we can't really talk about it yet, but bro, I cannot. I'm excited for the Murphy's comic, but I'm actually excited for what we're actually going to be pushing like first.
Are you, of course, referring to the title of the Fantastic Worlds of Steamboat Willie?
Yeah, that is the one I am most excited. I am so excited for that one.
I watched Diego. So as we were at Powerhouse Comic Con, I don't know if you were watching him, but I sat there. He was next to me, and I watched him start to sketch the splash page for the first issue of Fantastic Worlds of Steamboat Willie, which is basically going to have Mickey. That's right, folks, Mickey Mouse fighting with a creature, for lack of a better descriptor, that we kind of talked about and came up with on the spot.
Oh man, it's whack. Oh man, it's crazy.
And of course, Gear Deli Jeff is missing Hugh Carter.
Oh.
I'm not missing Hugh Carter.
No, thank you. If that guy finds, anytime I used to go out and that guy would be in the building, I would literally just be like, "Don't see me." And of course, I would try and get around him every time. I like see him, and I'd go the opposite way, and somehow he'd always end up finding me.
Yeah, but I can't stress enough to the audience out there that Icy Sound Comics is really going to be something special.
Yeah. When and if some of this art goes up, Mark already said, get your hands on it, because these, oh man, if you saw what I saw this past weekend, oh my God, they're going to be absolutely phenomenal. If you can get to any of these cons, get a custom piece by Diego and Lawrence or Justin. Mostly Diego and Lawrence work together, and then Justin works on it. I mean, their work is bonkers, and I mean, you gotta come and support them at the con. Plus, you can come see us. That we're just kind of like hey, we're here. But the main part is them, and they are doing some phenomenal stuff, man.
I was watching Justin Jam, the artist, working on a piece that he had already done previously that he had copies of, which was Gambit from X-Men 97 style Gambit. And he just watching him color, because that's what he was
just
doing
adding a little bit to it.
He was painting, and just watching him take the black and white drawing and like take it up a notch to like make it really a custom piece was awesome. And watching him mix some of those colors to make what he was looking for, I just don't have the patience for that. Like, and while I know that both Justin and Diego do digital color or can do digital color, I know that Diego loves to do watercolor on a lot of his pieces. We've shown off the Star Wars piece that he did for me before. That's all watercolor. I mean, it's amazing to me. We watched Lawrence and Diego do 2 commission pieces as well while we were there. I don't know if you watched them completely, but I did. One of them was a Transformer.
Yeah,
where
that one was crazy.
And it's what's really crazy is watching the back and forth where Diego will do the sketch and then he hands it off to Lawrence to start doing the inking, and then Lawrence gives it back to Diego to do the rough colors, and then gives it back to Lawrence to go back over the inking. Man,
I definitely watched the end of that one because I remember he was like, "Do we have cotton balls?" And I was like, "No, but I have Q-tips." And he was like, "Great, how many you got?" And I was like, "Here." It's like whatever, but like, man, this like,
so
it is phenomenal to watch those guys work.
I can announce that Lawrence, Diego, and Justin are all taking commission pieces for Silver Age Comic Con. So if you are interested in a unique piece, a one of one, a commissioned piece of art from these guys, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll get you on the list. I know that they are willing to do up to 5 pieces, and their prices are really good. I mean, obviously the price is going to be dependent on, is it just a head? Is it the full body? Is it, multiple characters?
Right.
But, their prices are so fair, more than fair. And what you're going to get, you're going to want, because
and you guys are like, you don't understand like the work that they do. I mean, you like, there was one of the people that they did the commission for, they kept coming back and they would just see, they were kind of checking in and just seeing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, and then they were like, and almost to the point where they're like, no, I don't want to see anymore. I want to just when it's done."
Mhm.
And so, and when that thing was done, man, that looked crazy cool.
Yeah.
Because they did the Transformer, and then it was a Nightwing and Deathstroke, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's a Transformer, and then there was Nightwing fighting Deathstroke with Deadpool in the corner watching, kind of snickering, eating a chimichanga.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, bless you. So I would highly recommend, if you would like a unique piece of artwork, these guys are going to be taking limited commissions.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, if you order in advance, your commission piece will be available for you to pick up at Silver Age Comic Con.
So do it early.
But if you're not local, if you're not going to be at Silver Age Comic Con, you're not local, they can still get it to you. The mail works just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, so don't hesitate. I can't say enough about the work that these 3 do.
Pay a little extra, get it FedEx to you.
Now, when it comes to Icy Sound Comics, it's such an interesting dynamic between the 3, because Diego is primarily doing the sketching, Lawrence is doing the inking, and Justin's doing the coloring. It's man, it is amazing watching these 3 work in tandem. So don't wait, because I can only imagine that their dance card is going to fill up very quickly after we start releasing some of these comics.
Yeah, get your number. I mean, hell, they got people that like Lawrence and Diego have people that follow them to cons because they know they're going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, their dance card is going to fill up very quickly. I guarantee you, after some of this stuff drops, Marvel's going to be knocking on the door. DC's going to be knocking on the door, trying to get these guys to do some work for them. Don't wait.
We got them.
And actually, you can see that the watercolor piece I was talking about back there.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the original sketch of you and me.
Yep. Which we're gonna get a couple more of those going.
And here you can see the Icy Sound logo with some of the artwork in the back, and that is the actual. Well, these 2 on the side, these are actual size pieces.
Yeah, those are they're huge.
Yeah, it's insane. And then up here is an actual piece from Deebs that we revealed here previously.
Yeah.
So
Free comic book day.
you know, we've got 6 issue 1s coming out over the course of the next 12 to 14 months.
Booyah! Alrighty. I think we need to wrap this up, my guy.
Okay, my dude. I'm not your guy, friend.
Friend. Oh, man. Good times. It was a good show tonight. I like that. The interview was probably my favorite part. Goodbye.